I'm Ryder, founder of the Bullet Journal Method, and in this video I'll be exploring two specific ways that I used a pocket notebook to increase my productivity, enhance my organization, and just help me be more consistent with journaling. One way is using this as your main notebook, and the second way is using it as a secondary notebook. Let's take a look at both. First up is using your Pocket as your primary notebook. Here are the top 3 reasons why I like the Pocket format for my main journal. First is portability. The notebook I'll be using throughout this video is one that I designed. I call it the Pocket. Now, I won't go over all the features of the Pocket notebook. If you want to learn about those, I'll drop a link below. There is, however, one specific feature that I do want to discuss because it really unlocked this form factor for me. Originally, I designed the Pocket due to popular demand from our community. See, until then, I use our standard A5 notebooks. Part of the reason for this is that I find it uncomfortable to write in smaller notebooks. I know that I'm not alone in this, so that was the first major design challenge that I had to solve. But a really elegant and obvious and simple solution came actually from my father. Can't take credit for it. My father's an author, and one of the drafts for his manuscripts is always written inside a notebook by hand. And a few years ago, he let me know that he was writing his newest book in one of our official bullet journal notebooks, which was really touching. When I took a look at it, I noticed that he used it in portrait mode. He had rotated to make it twice as tall. This was the perfect solution that I had been looking for. By orienting the Pocket notebook vertically, you get the best of both worlds. You get the pocketability of the smaller notebook as well as the writing surface of the larger A5. This also solved one of my biggest issues about having a larger notebook in general, debating whether or not I should take it with me. As much as I love my larger notebook, I don't take it with me everywhere I go. I don't take it on dates, I don't take it on to the beach, when I'm running errands, and of course when I'm out and about, that's when I have my best ideas. It took me 3 years to answer that question, to get this thing just right, and now I never have to question whether or not to bring a notebook. I just do. I always bring it with me. And always having a notebook on me also has a lot of really exciting, unexpected knock-on effects. The size of the notebook doesn't only make it really easy for me to take it with me, but also to put it down. Now, this may seem obvious, but I didn't realize how often I wouldn't put down a larger size notebook because there was no room. See, I travel a lot, so I have to deal with temporary desk situations or workspaces that are often really small or crowded. This makes it less likely for me to take a larger notebook with me, or even when I do, I just leave it in my bag because there's just no space for it. The reduced footprint of the Pocket also makes it perfect to put next to an open book on a tiny airplane tray, or next to a plate at a cafe with those tiny small tables, or at a crowded desk at a co-working space. The soft cover also allows me to fold it back, creating a rigid writing surface. In other words, I can easily capture my thoughts regardless of what space I'm in. Even if I do have a lot of space to write, I found that the Pocket size solved a really stupid but consistent problem that I've been having for years: the mouse, notebook, pen, desk Moshpit. I'm right-handed, so my mouse, notebook, and pen were constantly competing for the same little angry space on my desk all day long, but not anymore. The Pocket is small enough so I can use it and my mouse at the same time, and the spine also allows me to secure my pen in the same place. I just pick it up and put it right back down. I never lose it. It doesn't roll off the desk anymore. This is a small, satisfying, yet very consistent victory, and it definitely upgraded my whole desk setup. 3 is consistency. Now, none of those features would really matter if it got in the way of why I use a notebook to begin with. And the reason for me, surprise, surprise, is bullet journaling. At first I was a little worried that this form factor may interfere with my practice, as a lot of our core templates are traditionally spreads, so side by side. The form factor of the notebook doesn't allow for these. Though there was a bit of a learning curve, it ended up being fine. What I didn't expect was that this form factor actually supported my bullet journal practice in some new, exciting ways. First of all, it forced me to reset my intention every 30 days. Each notebook features an intention page, which prompted me to check my intentions and see if they were still in fact relevant. It was a small but meaningful way to make sure that I'm not living on autopilot. Another thing that proved very useful was lining up my monthly log side by side during my reflection rituals. I could quickly see the story of my life unfolding. This feature really comes in handy during my quarterly and yearly reflections because I can see all of it at the same time. This is really helpful when you're trying to synthesize a lot of information. I can see the entire year at a glance. Most importantly though, I found that I would record things more consistently. Having a simple way to record your thoughts and feelings at any time, anywhere creates a much more complete and accurate record of your life. In BUJO, we use that record to inform our choices about our future. So the better the data is, the better our decisions can be. Okay. Now let's talk about the Pocket as a sidekick, as your secondary journal. While I was developing the Pocket, I used it as a secondary notebook, as a sidekick, if you will, to my main journal. For that, it was also really useful, especially seeing as how this actually fits into the back pocket of our larger notebook. So here are 3 ways that I found a Pocket notebook to be helpful as a secondary journal. 1. As your everyday carry. The Pocket is great for EDC. It allowed me to take it with me to places that I usually wouldn't take other notebooks, like on hikes or quick errands or to the gym. Another way that I use this is when I went on quick business trips for 2 or 3 days where I didn't want to lug around a larger notebook. It helped me quickly capture information that I needed without any of the additional weight. Also just makes it much easier to pack. The Pocket also features removable pages, which is great when you want to share information with people. So I would use them, for example, to leave thank you notes or something personal like that. And that was really helpful when I was on the road. 2. As a dedicated collection. The Pocket comes in a set of 3 notebooks, so you can dedicate each one of these notebooks to a different topic. In bullet journal, we call those collections. These collections can include anything from a fertility tracker to a gratitude log to a project log. You can think of collections as file folders, and these little notebooks are a great way to organize those files. In a full-size notebook, you track your collections using an index, which is great. But when you have a collection that persists across multiple notebooks, having a dedicated pocket-sized notebook for a collection can be really useful. One specific example is a gym log. I will track maybe 6 or 7 months of working out in one of these, and I can bring it with me to the gym, and it also persists across different notebooks, so I can keep a better record. Then another great example, and probably my favorite, is that it serves as a master index, which I'll talk about next. Every bullet journal notebook comes with a dedicated index page. It's an address book for your ideas. This is really powerful for you to keep your thoughts organized throughout the lifespan of a notebook. But what happens to all those ideas when you start a new notebook? You can use a Pocket notebook as a master index, an index to bind them all, if you will. So say if you have a project that lasts a couple years, chances are you will use multiple notebooks in which you're recording your ideas. You can use the Pocket then to list which notebooks has those ideas, so you can find them again quickly later. Now you have a simple way to track topics across notebooks over time. It was a really fun learning experience transitioning from a large notebook to a Pocket. As someone who is an avid notebook user, it's really exciting to experience how much a form factor can impact the way that I capture my life. More so, it also helps me become more aware of how I live my life, how I perceive it. It's not really until you can see how you write your life that you can begin to write a better one. I'm curious, do you use a Pocket notebook? Are there any other ways I should use this that I've missed? If so, please share in the comments down below. And if you're curious about learning more about this, I will also add information below that you can check out as well. Thank you for taking the time. I'll see you in the next one.